my name's Laurence, and if you would like to succeed in business, I want you to get yourself one pen, one piece of paper, and I want you to watch this video. What is your favourite business? Write it down for me. Okay, I predict about a third of you will have liked Apple the most, other people Disney, other people Samsung, and maybe some football teams. Doesn't matter which one you picked, it's got to be personal to you. But for the company you have picked, I would like you to pause the video for 3 whole minutes, and I want you to think, how many different products do you think your favourite company sells? So if you picked Adidas, I want you to write down for 3 minutes, how many different products do Adidas sell? Okay, so you've got your list of all the different products. Now, here's the next question. You could, maybe if there's someone next to you, you can talk to them, but even if you can't, have a little think. You've got a pen and a piece of paper. Why do companies have so many? There's hardly any company in the world with one product. Why do they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different products? Why? Okay, so you thought about it. What reasons did you come up with for a number of products? One obvious reason is because different people like different things. You can't always have the same phone for everyone. So partly you have different products to keep different people happy. But another reason that I'm sure you came up with is to spread risk. If you only have one type of product, what if that product becomes unpopular? Your whole business will fail. So businesses have different products to spread risk and to hope that other ones will be profitable at different times of the year and at different periods of the company's growth. So there are hundreds of reasons for having different products. I'm sure you came up with more. But in this short video, those are some of the most obvious. Okay? Now, let's think of your favourite company. Let's think of Apple, for example. Imagine you're the new boss. Do you think you should have more products? Or maybe, do you think you should stay the same? Or would you have less products? Are there some products that you would close down? Okay, that's the sort of discussion that's happening across every boardroom of every business around the world. And everyone's got a different opinion. Maybe tonight over dinner, speak to your family, have a discussion. Should Apple sell the iWatch? Should they move into something different, like fashion? Okay, try and think, should you have more products or less products? Every firm has a product portfolio of different products. And what we're going to do now is we're going to analyse, do we have the right blend? Here's the new theory that you're going to learn in the video. The theory is called the Boston Matrix. And when you study business studies in these videos, or maybe if you go on to study at university, you can read all about it. So it's called the Boston Matrix. All theories in all types of academia have a definition. I want you to learn this definition. It's behind me now, and we're thinking that it's a tool for working out which products a company sells and what they should do to improve their profit over time. Okay, so my job now is to try and make this fun, but to try and give you the understanding of the theory. The theory works by separating 2 different criteria by which you can judge any product. Let's look at the first one, the market growth. Now, growth, as you know, means when something gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So there are some products out there that are getting more and more popular. One example would be the smartphone. This has high market growth. More people around the world are trying to buy smartphones. Now, let's think of the opposite. There are products in the world where there is low market growth. It might grow very slowly, it might stay the same, or it might even shrink and people buy less of them. My example for you is the calculator. This is not a popular product anymore, and its sales, I would imagine, are declining. Okay, I've got an activity for you, so get your pen and your piece of paper. I want you to write down 3 products that you think in the world have high market growth. My example was the smartphone. And when you've done that, I want you to think of 3 products with low market growth, like the calculator. So pause the video and think of those 2 sets of 3 products. Okay, so you've thought of the different products. What did you get? As well as the smartphone, an obvious example of a product that's growing in popularity might be a tablet computer. An obvious example of a product that's less popular might be the typewriter. People don't want typewriters anymore, they want laptops. But there are hundreds of examples across the world in different industries, in fashion, in music, that I've given you from technology. So you've got the idea of market growth, the idea that products are becoming more popular or staying the same or shrinking. There's a second idea in the Boston Matrix, and it's to do with the market share. Here's a pie chart. I'm sure you've seen it before. It represents all the sales in an industry. An example of an industry could again be the smartphone. And we've got 3 different companies. Who do you think are the red slice? They've got more than half of the market share. I would imagine that's something like Apple. Very popular phones. Blue slice, reasonably popular. Let's think about the yellow. That's quite a small segment, less than a quarter. Who do you think in China sells less than a quarter of all the smartphones? Write it down. I would imagine that the yellow could represent a company like BlackBerry. They have small market share. Okay, so here you go. Why don't you pause this video and draw a different pie chart? Maybe you could do something like shoes. Leather shoes for girls in the evening when they go to parties. Who sell the most in China? Who sell the least? Try and work it out. Okay, so your piece of paper is getting pretty full with all these different ideas. We're going to do a little bit more. I want you to think of 3 products that have high market share. Then I want you to think of 3 products that have low market share. So pause the video and try and get me those 6 products. Okay, welcome back. Thoughts of your products. Now here's where it's very clever. The Boston Matrix is going to create a grid of 4 separate areas, and we're going to put the 2 different ideas we've got together. We're going to put market share and market growth together to create a special grid. Let me show you that. Okay, get yourself a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to draw this grid out. You've got your high market share, your low market share vertically, and you've got market growth, high market growth and low market growth. Okay. Each of the 4 grids is going to be given a special name. The names are as follows. If you have high market share, high market growth, this product is a star. If, however, you have high market share, so it's a very famous product within all the sales of the industry, but the industry is not really growing, we call that a cash cow. Here you have the question mark. You have low market share within the pie chart, but the pie chart is growing. More people are trying to buy these products. And then finally, down at the bottom, you have low market growth and low market share. We call that a dog product. A dog product would be where you've got small market share, you're not a very big company within the industry, and that industry might even be shrinking. So you might be an unpopular retailer of calculators. A question mark, that might be something that's growing quickly, like smartphones, but that you are not a big retailer within it. Okay. Here's a game for you. On your piece of paper, try and think of a different type of product that fits each of those 4 ideas. Okay. I want you to create a brand new Boston Matrix and make sure it's empty. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go back to one of the first things you did, which was you thought of all the different products sold by Apple, or all the different products sold by Nike. Now, take those products and I want you to put them in the grid. Put them wherever you think they fit. So if you're doing Apple, put the iPhone where you think it is. Is iPhone a dog? I don't think so. Is it a cash cow? Perhaps. Yeah. So try and work out where the iPhone goes, where the iPad, where the MacBook goes for Apple's Boston Matrix. Or if you don't like Apple, choose your own company. Okay? Pause the video. I'll speak to you in a bit. Now that you've been busy filling in your Boston Matrix for your famous company, I want you to think of these 3 questions. Here's the first one. Which is the busiest box for your company? Have you got a crowded area of question marks? Or is it the cash cow where every product has pretty much ended up? Okay, so which is the busiest? Now, I want you to think, which is the emptiest box? Is there one where there's no products or only one? Here's a question for you. What does that tell you? If you've got one empty box, should you make a product for it, or is it a good thing? The beautiful thing here is it's all about opinions. Everyone would put Apple's products in slightly different places. And it's obviously hard without the data, but I want you to have some fun, try and use your imagination and your judgment. Now imagine you're Apple. You might have 3 stars and 2 question marks, and maybe you've only got 1 dog. Is that a good Boston Matrix for you? Do you need more dogs, or should you stay that way? Do you need more stars, or is it too expensive? We need to think about this. We need to think, if you're going to be a successful businessman or woman, how can the Boston Matrix help you? Let's do some analysis. I want you, for each of the different product types, there's 4, the star, the cash cow, the dog, and the question mark, I want you to make a grid of advantages and disadvantages. And I want you to pause this video. You've got 4 different types of product, so maybe pause for 20 minutes and try and think of all the advantages of having a star product. Think of as many as you can. And then I want you to think of all the disadvantages. And when you finish with the stars, move on to the cash cow. Okay, so pause the video and work hard now. Okay, here's the analysis for you. Which do you think is the most expensive for any company to run? Which of the 4? Pause the video, have a think about it, and I'll give you the answer. Most people would argue that stars are the most expensive. Why is that? If you want to, have a discussion with someone. I'll tell you the answer in about 3 seconds. The star is expensive to run because if you're making a product where the industry is growing, people are going to join. So you need to make your product better than everyone else's, and that involves investment in research, development. It means having engineers and scientists and designers working together. And it also means that you have significant advertising costs. So most people argue it's the star that's expensive to run. It's not easy to make something that's better than an iPhone. Okay, next question. Which type can you charge the highest price for? Pause the video, talk to your friends and family. Let's get you an answer. Interestingly, you can charge a high price for any different product. You could have a dog where you are small in the industry and the industry is not growing, but if it's an expensive product, for example, a special type of sports car, of course you can charge a high price. And there are star products that are under 200 RMB. But most typically, you can charge a high price for a star, but it's not always the case. So this is the interesting thing with the Boston Matrix. Not all the answers are as you would imagine. Let's have another question. Which type makes the most money for the company? Okay, I want you to pause the video and think for as long as you can. Think hard and get me your answer. Okay, so pause now. Okay, now you're watching again. What did you come up with? Question mark? Dog? Cash cow? I reckon a lot of you would say the star. But interestingly, we've already realized that the star is expensive to run. So actually, any product can be successful. That's one of the beautiful things about business. You could have 20 dog products and you could make millions and millions of dollars every day, like McDonald's. Or you could be like Samsung and Apple that are involved with stars. Stars are expensive to run, but you can charge a high price. So funnily enough, whatever you said, you were right. Because for a different business, it could be true that the type of product that makes them the most money is a question mark, or it's a cash cow. Every company is different. So we've had some fun today. You should have got a new theory. That's some new knowledge in your life. We've applied it to your opinions and your favorite companies. We've analyzed the theory. We've taken it apart and shown the advantages, the strengths of the theory, and how it works. Here's the most important question for you. It's the most important question for the Boston Matrix, but for any theory you study in your life, in any subject. How good is a theory? How useful is it to you in your life? Your conclusion is your own. Many people love the Boston Matrix because it's a simple tool that lets you judge how a company can change its product portfolio. But on the other side, there are many people that would say it poses more questions than answers. I hope you've enjoyed learning about it, and I hope to hear from you about what you think of the Boston Matrix in the future. 谢谢，再见。